I don't think that I can think of a golf tournament that has had such a build-up to it and has really such a, probably a special sense around it. To be an instructor here at the Home of Golf who could play in the Open is something that I'm so fortunate to have an opportunity to do. If it was to come around that I qualified, hands down it would be, the greatest achievement of my life. You can sometimes forget where you are. You're in such a special place, but it just becomes the norm that you're here. Every morning I put my bay up and all I see is the outlook onto the range, out onto the golf course and up into the home end of the town. You catch yourself at moments going, okay, wow, you're so lucky to be here. It's not just a job here, it's a way of life. And it's really when the Open comes back around that you realise how unique and how impressive a town it is. You can see a buzz about the place and there's an excitement and makes you feel that you're in a special place.
What's your bad shot? Just miss it to the right of target. Good swing there. Your club face there in relation to where your path is swinging to is really open, which is going to encourage the ball to curve left to right in the air. If we can get you getting the club face into position a little bit earlier, less rotation with your forearms on the backswing, we should be able to get your path a little less to the left with your face a bit more on target at the moment of impact.
I love my job.
Okay, and again.
The satisfaction that you get, in honesty, out of helping someone, especially if you've got players who you work with regularly and you see them develop as players, is incredibly rewarding.
Wow, excellent.
I'm a Glasgow boy originally. It used to be a holiday to come to St Andrews, and I remember years of going to local courses and the dream was, oh, can we get on the old course? Because it's home now, has kind of probably changed the way I view it. This is my pride and joy. It's like grass. I need my grass to be quite nice. I don't know why. I think it probably again comes to it's like a memory of a childhood. Like my dad used to come home and cut the grass and it always used to look quite pristine. I was like, so I needed that. It's a different style of life, I guess, for me. I come from the city. It was fast-paced. There was always something to do. There was always people to go meet and so on. It's a bit more relaxed here, certainly where I live now. Hey.
Oh, here we go.
Shadow. Oh, there was a big weed there that I had to get rid of, and now he's going to eat it. Aye, enough. That gives me sleepless nights. That wee hole there. I need to try and think about it.
He eats, sleeps, breathes golf. He's a really relaxed person. He's really personable, really friendly. Can talk to anyone and everyone, and he brings that out on course. He's not afraid, in doing what he's doing. Chase this dream. He's got a real passion for actually helping people, improve their game, and I know that's a big part of his life, that he really enjoys sort of mentoring people, and golf's really a big part of our lives.
Golf was a sport that I played with my dad. He would take me down to our local club. He would take me around the par 3 course, and then if I got good enough I was allowed to go and play a few holes with him out on the full golf course. And then as I got better and better, it was like, that was my place where I would go and do all my practice. And my golf just over the years kind of evolved, and I went from being a kind of local Glasgow club player to somebody who was trying to play in national events, and then somebody who was trying to go on a golf scholarship, and then somebody who eventually turned professional. I played for a number of years, kind of 4 or 5 years, tried to go through the mini tours, your Europro tours and so on. I played a lot in the Scottish region of the PGA here. Never really happened for me, if I'm honest. That's really where my kind of coaching went on to the next level. And then in 2015 I found myself, so fortunate to be offered a position here in St Andrews. Oh, that's the way to play it now. I deal with so many different styles of golfer. I'll be just fine. That'll be just fine. That'll be just fine, yeah.
There's only 2 white balls down there at the minute, George.
I can have a player who's never touched a golf club before, to experienced players who are trying to take that next stage. Around the age of kind of 10, 11, I remember a lot of the golf on television. I used to come home from school and the Open would be on in our house. My dad loved watching the golf and it would be on.
A scene that can only mean the Open Championship. Royal Troon this morning with play in the 126th Open already underway. So what history will be written in the next 4 days?
The first one that I went to, I believe it was 97. It was Royal Troon. A family friend appeared at our door and was like, "How's it going? I've got some tickets for the Open." So my dad and I and he went down, and that really stands out to me. Tiger just won the Masters, and I remember sitting in the grandstand, and that was my first real memory of seeing Tiger in the flesh, and it was at an Open Championship, only 30 minutes from my house.
Amazing. He's quite amazing. He was after it when it was still 4 feet from the hole.
It was always my dream to be like Tiger Woods, and I was so fortunate actually that in 2015 he did a clinic for our St Andrews Links Junior Golf Academy. He did a clinic on the driving range for us, and 100% it'll go down as one of my best memories. Fantastic. I'm a relatively consistent player. Tee to green would be my current strength. I think if I can keep working and keep trying to improve around the greens and just be a little bit less wasteful at times, and I've got every chance of shooting a score that would probably reflect that.
There's more kind of maybe analysis going on in his head about how he's playing his shots and how he can get better. He's thinking more about it probably outwardly than he had been in the past.
I don't have, I guess, an internal pressure that I maybe put on myself before. It's just a desire to go and play and to try and, play as best as I can. The wind will play the biggest part here. There's no doubt about it. It can make the golf course play completely different on an hourly basis, never mind on a day-to-day basis. You can have gusts of wind that really make some holes incredibly difficult and other times make that hole a little bit easier. The conditions play such a part in the shots that you have to play, where you have to land the ball, whether you have to allow for lots of roll, whether you have to try and get it all the way back to the flag, whether you have to try and lay up short of bunkers, whether you can try and get over them. And you just have to use a little bit of imagination, try and control your ball flight a little bit better, hit low shots, hit some higher ones.
I tell you what, that'll work. That'll work perfectly. Yeah.
I noticed it was better than the pros one.
Oh, harsh.
I can see my one. Where's yours?
At least mine got airborne.
Yeah, I kept mine out the window.
This year, probably a couple of things driving me, if I'm honest. Ultimately, it's here. It's at the home of golf, which is my workplace, and it's where I live my life. This special, I guess, experience that would be, to be an instructor here at the home of golf who could potentially, play in the Open at the home of golf is something that I'm so fortunate to have an opportunity to do.
To say my husband's playing in the Open, it would mean so much. I'm really proud of him, whether he qualifies or not. Lots of people wouldn't do something like this. They'd be scared. They might fail. But with Scott, he just goes for it and does what he loves doing. And I'm just proud that he's got the guts to chase his dream. And whether he qualifies or not, I just think it makes him an amazing role model. We're expecting a child, and just to say to them, listen, your dad had the guts to try and qualify for the Open. If he does, amazing. But if he doesn't, I just think it's a really good story to tell them that he actually went out there and did what he loved and tried his best to succeed.
I've been playing and practicing a little bit more, and I feel like if I do play well, I have a shot. No expectations of doing it, but certainly I feel like if I bring my best game, that I can shoot good scores. The likes of the Open Championship and what it is and what it means to me and so many people, my family, it gives you that desire, that opportunity to try and live the glory days a little bit. From my perspective, my expectations of fully qualifying and standing on that first tee are low, in honesty. I'm no longer a full-time player, but it's worth a try. I've got no pressure to perform, and I just want to enjoy every single minute of it. And if it was to come around that that I qualified, hands down, it would be the greatest achievement of my life.